If you stay on this same bus for the entire trip, it does take about 90 minutes to make the complete round trip. We will be making 7 stops along the way. However, we do encourage you to get on and off the buses as many times as you want to, as all buses do stop at the same places going up the canyon, and then we make the very same stops coming back down again. Most of the day buses come along every 6 to 8 minutes in both directions, so you never have to wait very long for a bus to come along. So if you see something that you want to see or do at any of the stops, just get out there and spend as much time as you like. And then when you're ready to go again, there'll be another bus there ready to take you on to the next place. And just a couple of reminders, if you would keep heads and arms inside the windows as we're moving along for safety reasons. Also, there's no eating or drinking on the buses except for water, and we do encourage you to drink plenty of that. Just to orient you a little, Zion National Park sits at the western edge of the Colorado Plateau, adjoining 2 other great American deserts, the Mojave Desert and the Great Basin. This helps to account for the rich plant and animal life here. Also, Zion forms the middle of what we call the Grand Staircase. Geologically, the bottom layer of Bryce Canyon is the highest formation in Zion, and the bottom layer of Zion is the top of the Grand Canyon. Zion National Park covers 229 square miles and rises almost a vertical mile to 8,700 feet in elevation. This first stop is the Human History Museum, and it covers the history of the different peoples who have lived in this area for the past 10,000 years or so. They also show a film at the museum. It's an excellent movie on Zion. It's a great orientation film if you haven't ever been here before. That film covers the history and the geology of the park, as well as plants and animals and many other things. They show that film every half hour throughout the day, and it lasts for about 20 minutes. Stop.
Yeah, everyone likes that. Popular stop. I think this is where I parked before, right here.
The group of cliffs you see right on the left side of us over there out behind the museum is one of the prettiest views in Zion. The group of cliffs they call the Towers of the Virgin. The tallest one on the left-hand side of the group there with the little red cap up on top, that one's known as the West Temple. That one stands about 3,800 feet above the canyon floor, and that one is the tallest sandstone cliff here in Zion Canyon. That other cliff with the long red stain is the Altar of Sacrifice. As we head up into the canyon, I'll be announcing all the stops to you as we get to them, and also tell you what trails originate at each one of the stops, and some of the things that you'll be able to see there, and also try to give you a little bit of information about the park as we're moving along here. If you have any questions, please ask your driver. If you haven't had a chance to drive up through the Zion Tunnel yet, be sure you do that while you're in the area. You can drive your own car up in that part of the park. And the Zion Tunnel is about 4 miles up the highway from right here. The tunnel was completed back in 1930. It was quite an engineering feat back in those days. And when you come out of that tunnel on the other side, you get a whole different view of Zion as you're up on top of the slick rock at that point. There's a lot of interesting formations to look at up there, including the checkerboard mesa. There's also several head of bighorn sheep. If you get lucky, sometimes you can see them right along the road. And you can drive from here all the way out to the east entrance of the park and back again. It takes about an hour's time approximately. And it is a real nice scenic drive. This next stop is called Canyon Junction. That'll be right after we turn off the main highway up into the scenic drive. It has access to the Virgin River, and the Purus Trail starts there. Purus is the southern Paiute name for the Virgin River. It means rushing or turbulent waters. Pa means water in southern Paiute. And if you look at maps of this area, you'll see a lot of places with Pa in their name. Parinawee, Pa-Tempe, Tonopah. The Purus Trail is paved and runs from Canyon Junction back down to the Visitor Center. It follows the river down, and it's about 1.7 miles long. It's a versatile trail. It's the only trail in the park you can take your pet on as long as it's on a leash. It's wheelchair accessible, and it's the only trail where you can ride your bike. You can ride anywhere on the roadway, but that is the only trail. If you are planning to bicycle in the canyon, please know that the buses are not allowed to pass a moving cyclist. And if you want the bus to pass, you must pull over and stop. And this is Canyon Junction. World. They are the remains of an ancient desert that used to be here over 200 million years ago. That desert stretched all the way from the southern part of Wyoming down into California, and there is evidence of the Navajo sandstone throughout that entire area. But it's most prominent right here at Zion. It's estimated that right through this area here, there were sand dunes on that desert that were as deep as 3,000 feet. If you compare that with the tallest sand dunes found in the world today, which are on the Sahara Desert, it has sand dunes of around 200 to 300 feet. Then there was a whole series of events that took place after that desert, and you have to think in millions of years now because the whole process took over 200 million years. There was a shallow ocean that came in over the desert, and it was the minerals that were deposited into the sand that acted as the cement, which helped to cement these sandstone cliffs together. Then this whole area, which is part of the Colorado Plateau, went through a period of uplifting where the land was literally raised up. They say that started about 70 million years ago and still taking place today. Land that used to be at sea level, some of it is now as high as 10,000 feet. And it was at that time that the little river you see running off to the left of us over there, called the Virgin River, began carving its way down through this canyon. And they say the river started about 10 to 12 million years ago. And the river is pretty much totally responsible for carving out this canyon as you do see it here today. There's no evidence of any glaciers or anything like that. Pretty much all been caused from erosion by that little river over there. This part of the canyon that we're in right now is the steepest part of the canyon. It's also one of the most active parts, and there have been quite a few rock falls and landslides that have taken place over the years. As we go around this next curve right up here, if you look off to the left side of the bus out across the little wall there, you can see the remains of a landslide that occurred here on April the 12th, 1995. As part of that hillside there slid down into the river, dammed up the river right here, and then what happened is the river undercut and washed out about 300 feet of the road. And it happened during the night before anybody realized what was going on, stranded about 300 people who were staying up at Zion Lodge at the time. They did get most of the people out within a day or two, but the canyon was closed for about 6 weeks until a temporary road could be rebuilt there.